All right, welcome back, everyone. Welcome to the session again. Day 2, part 2 discussion on the Java advanced topic, wherein in the part 1, we had discussed the lambda expression, inner class, anonymous inner class, and lambda expression. And then we had started the journey of exception handling. And then last part we had initiated the journey of collection, but we have not yet discussed much on the collection. So the agenda, the objective for this particular live session will be, we shall discuss the concept of collection briefly, how much ever possible within the next 1.5 hours, followed by the concept of stream API, which is related to collection, which comes under the same family. Fine. So we shall start the discussion on the collection, which we have already initiated by creating the instance of ArrayList. We need to understand more. We need to understand the theme at which collection is working. These topics which we have discussed in yesterday's live sessions and today's live sessions are crucial and must have topics before you start understanding the application development or frameworks of Java, any framework in that matter. If you want to learn any framework, if you want to develop the application with Java, these are the must have Java concept which we have discussed. If you have not yet watched the previous videos, you can watch it. After some time on the YouTube, these videos will not be available. You can register yourself for this free course which we are conducting at courses.telescope.com. If you visit, then you will find out one course for fast track Java live batch, which is free of cost, and you can find all the code files, board work, and whatever concept we are discussing, the video recordings of that as well. Fine. We will add it today, Mansoor. It's not yet added. We will be adding it today and tomorrow. All right. So by keeping that in mind, I shall proceed with the discussion. The very first class of collection for which we had created the instance is ArrayList. Now we have one question here from Vishnu Shankar. Sir, Spring Fast Track could be paid. Yes, but because that is detailed, that is like 8 full day of classes, 4 weekends. Okay, so hence it is a paid batch. So that is a paid batch, but this is free. This is 2 days, which is a need as a prerequisite before you understand the Spring framework. But that batch is a detailed batch. You can find the maybe information on the Telescope dashboard, the Telescope website, and there are some coupons also, discount coupons. You can apply that and get the best price. All right, great, guys. ArrayList is an interface which is implementing list interface. This is also a predefined interface. This is a predefined class. Within this class, there are so many methods using which you can add the data, collection of data, and you can perform many operations using the predefined methods. It follows dynamic array data structure, refers to as and when you add the data, the size of this data structure will grow and shrink. Example, initial data we have added to this collection. Name of the collection may be ArrayList, whatever name you want you can give. You have added some data. I'll assume the data is 10, 20, 30. That is the initial data which you have added to this collection, and you have created the collection. Great. And in this collection, using the add method, if you add any of the data, automatically at the rear end, data would be added. As and when you add the data would be added at the rear end. 50, 60, as and when, how much ever data, whatever data you add, it will be added at the rear end. The size is not fixed here. How much ever information you add, the size of this data structure will grow, keep on growing. Fine. And there are some methods here which we need to also explore. Let me open this. I would like to open the idea. This is the class we have taken, wherein we can add, see here, integer type of data, string type of data, double type of real number type of data, because everything which is getting stored in your collection is considered as an object. And in yesterday's class, we have understood object is parent of all the classes. Great. So I would like to just maybe comment this part. Let me comment it. And let me create a new collection of ArrayList. I'll say here ArrayList, type maybe list1 equals to new ArrayList. All the classes, all the methods I'll not explore by considering the time we have here. Maybe some of the important methods just to give you an idea, theme at which it is working, I would like to demonstrate. Okay. I will say here list dot. If you say list dot, you can notice here, of course, it is list1 dot. So many methods are available here. All these methods you can use in order to add the data, in order to manipulate with the data which you have here. If you want to insert something, we have 4 options available. Add method, with the index you can add all. If there is one more already collection available, that collection you can add into this collection, and one more new collection you can add into based on the index. So based on the index also you can perform insertion operation here. And we have a get method. Based on the index you can get the data also. With this, the conclusion point here is, can we perform insertion based operation into a collection which is created using the array list? The answer must be yes, because based on insertion, based on the index, you can perform the insertion also, you can add the data also, you can get the data also. Let me add some data here. I will say 10. I will say maybe list1 dot add. I would like to say here 20, whatever data it could be. I'm adding 10, 20 just randomly. And maybe one more data I would like to add here, list1 dot add. Maybe I would like to say here 30. Great, some data has been added, and I want to print. I want to see on my console what data is there within this collection. I will say print and show me what is there inside this collection. Okay, list1 is the collection name. If I have to run this Java file, all of you can notice we are getting this data. Now one more important point which you need to understand here is, ArrayList class, if you create a collection, is it maintaining order of insertion? What do you mean by order of insertion? No, Kamal Bisht says that seems like the video is a recorded video. No, it's not recorded. Okay, we have chats from the Zoom also, we have a chats from the YouTube also. I could not able to take all the chats at a time because at the end we have to deliver also. Okay, I'll be meanwhile in between taking this. I'm unable to view my pet course. Could you please help me with the shoes? Lalit, sure, our team will help you. Just reach out to the number which we have on the website. Guys, you can see here, is it maintaining the order of insertion? In whichever order we have inserted the data. First data is 10, second is 20, third is 30. Are you getting the collection in the same order? The answer is yes. So 2 important points we have understood here. It is dynamic in nature. As and when you add data into the collection which is created by ArrayList, the size will grow. As and when you add the data, the size will keep on growing. Point number 1. Point number 2, we can perform index based operation. Based on a specific index, you can add the data, you can retrieve the data. Allowed. Point number 3 which you need to understand is, it is maintaining order of insertion. Point number, maybe let me just prove this also. I'll say here, at the end I'm adding this. I'll say list1 dot add. I would like to say add. I want in the first index 44 to be added. See here, first index right now 20 is there. But if you print your collection, you can see 44 will be added in the first index. So based on index, you could able to get it. Maybe I would like to print what is there in certain index. I will say here, list1 dot get. We have get first, we have get last, we have get also. I'll say here, show me what is there in the second index. I want to see. I would like to just run this. Sometimes at line 14 people use direct list on behalf of ArrayList. Any difference? No problem. Both of them are same because list is a parent. Saurabh is asking one question. List is a parent. So as per the polymorphism, if you have studied in the, let me just off my camera and turn on. Okay. As per the polymorphism concept which we have studied, for a child type of object, can you create parent type of reference, Saurabh? The answer is yes. So hence it is possible. Okay. I hope you are able to understand here. Can we perform the complete CRUD operation in it? See, CRUD operation means storing the data permanently. See, let me clarify two things here. Working with data to process the data is one part of the story. Working with data which is to store permanently is another part of the story. So whatever you store in your application, right, using the concept of variables, using the concept of arrays, collection, anything, it is temporary. As long as your application is running on the RAM, the data will be there. The moment application stops to work, the data is gone. If you want to store the data permanently, see, end user is entering the data in the form. Lot of data is there. At the end of the day, I have to store that in my database, right? So in between application we are writing, we are creating the variables, we are creating the arrays, we are creating the collection just to process the data, just to work with the data, just to write some logic with the data. It is not permanently storing. See, example, I will collect entire data, form data. I will keep it in my collection. And that collection, I will take it and store in the database. So in between, to process, only we develop the applications. All the applications are there to process and work with the data, not to store permanently. At the end of the data is getting stored on the database itself. I hope you are able to understand this. Will you be covering some part of Hibernate in the Spring course? Yes, Spring Hibernate 5 in the form of recorded. We will be giving you some 25 plus videos in the form of recorded, which you can watch. I myself have recorded that Hibernate videos, Nitish. Okay. Now, fine. Satish was asking on the YouTube. Great, guys. This is the story here. It is maintaining the order of insertion. Index-based axing is allowed. As and when we add the data, the size will keep on growing. The story of ArrayList. Even though you could able to perform index-based axing, it is not efficient. Why? Why it is not efficient? See, there is no advantage here you can see right now in this case, Harshika. The advantage will be you can use either ArrayList class or LinkList class. Both of them, the parent is list. That's the only advantage for now. Okay. Now, let me just show you this, guys. Index-based axing is allowed here. But whenever you perform all of a sudden, if I say here, al.add, maybe I'll say here, in the first index, add some 40. Then what happens is, whatever data is already there in the first index, that data will shift to the second index. Whatever data is there, that will shift to the second index. Whatever data we have here, that will shift here. Whatever data we have, that will shift here. So by shifting it, the size will increase if you perform index based insertion. And that is little bit time consuming. If you look at the perspective of efficiency, index based insertion is possible. Okay. All right. Okay. Index based insertion is possible, but if you ask me, is it efficient in ArrayList? The answer is no. That's when one more important class comes into picture, which is LinkList. LinkList. It is a predefined class, and this predefined class is implementing two interfaces. Number one, list interface, and also DQ interface. If it is implementing two interface, first difference with respect to ArrayList, will we get more methods? First of all, whatever methods we have seen in the ArrayList, all the methods will be available in the LinkList also. Why? How come? Because ArrayList was implementing list interface, there were methods. LinkList is also implementing list interface. So you will see many methods which were there in the ArrayList are also available in the LinkList. Addition to that, we will have few more methods as LinkList is implementing DQ interface also. Fine. So, all of you, what is that plus one? Question, I'm unable to view my paid course. Okay, I have tried my best. Thank you for clarification. Can you please how add works inside? Add method will add the data at the rear end automatically as an object. Okay. Huh. Is there any Spring Boot Live paid course is there? But I would like to free. We have to see, because from next weekend onwards, 8 classes, 4 weekends we are occupied with full day Spring Boot batch. So me and Navin sir, both of us are occupied for full day Spring Boot batch, because of which we will not be able to take any free session for the next 4 weekends, because we have a live batch on Telescope. Okay, let's continue, guys. So LinkList is implementing 2 interfaces and follows one data structure called as doubly linked list. Doubly linked list data structure. Singular linked list data structure, doubly linked list data structure, circular linked list data structure. These are the data structure. You need not to work with it. By default, the predefined class linked list is following doubly linked list data structure, and there the nodes gets created. Whenever you add the data, nodes get created, and every node will get the left link and a right link. And whenever you add a new data, a new node gets created, and the left link will have address of this node, this will have address of this node. Both of them will be interconnected with each other. That's how the connection will happen, and the data gets stored. Maybe some data is there here, 30. A node gets created here, and the previous node will get automatically connected to this. Okay, this is how the data will be stored. And also this is also dynamic in nature. As and when you add the data, you can keep on, the size will keep on increasing. So let me just show you here with respect to the IDE. I would like to go here, and maybe I'll say here new class. I will say here launch linked list. Okay, launch linked list, and I'll create the instance of linked list, guys. Let me have a main method also here, and let me create the instance of linked list. I'll say linked list type maybe ll1 equals to new linked list. All right, and then you can see, guys, ll1 dot, if I say all the methods which you have seen in the array list are also present here also. See, add all. These methods are coming from the list interface. Since ArrayList and LinkList, both of them are implementing list interface, some common methods are there. LinkList is also implementing DQ interface. So it has some additional methods compared to ArrayList. And you can perform insertion at any given point of time, at any given point of position. If you want to perform index-based insertion or retrieval operation, any operation based on the index on the data which is stored in the linked list collection, then easily you can go with the linked list. I would like to add here and add any type of data. Okay. Yes, I would like to just get it. Maybe add some data. Whatever data you want, you can add it. I would like to just say here 20. I'll say here 30. And one more point you need to understand, if I have to just print my collection system.out.println, I will see here ll1. Let me just run this, and I want you to focus here. You're getting. Now I have one question to you. Is it maintaining the order of insertion linked list like the way ArrayList is maintaining the order of insertion? Especially those who are on the Zoom, please do respond. Good to see all of your responses. It is yes. So ArrayList and LinkList, both of them will maintain the order of insertion, and you can perform the index based operations here also. Say here add, I will say in the second index, I want you to add 44. If you have to print this, you can see 44 will be added in the second index. So based on the index also, you can perform operations here. I hope fundamentally, are you getting a theme at which collection is working on? Good question. When to use concurrent? Just concurrent hash map. Forget about concurrent hash map. We have concurrent. The situation comes. There is something called as fail fast and fail safe. You need to understand on this. I have next 1 hour of time to discuss the collection. Within 1 hour, I have to give you a brief, quick idea on how collection works and how you have to use the collection. If time permits, definitely I'll not discuss on these many topics, okay? Because in our live paid courses of Telescope, we discuss collection for around 15 hours, more than 15 hours. And whatever we discuss for 15 hours, it is quite difficult for me to convey in 1 hour of time, but I'm trying my best, okay? Sudhanshu, this video will be available. It is like an array list only. You can perform index-based operation. Using the add method, you can add the data. And it has more methods than the array list because it is implementing two interfaces. It is maintaining the order of insertion. Great. Quickly, because some of the important data structures also we may have to understand. We have one more class. We have one more class available here, which is ArrayDQ. There is something called as concurrent modification and structural modification. All the concurrent classes comes under that radar. Those who are asking in the chat, okay? So I'll say here ArrayDQ. ArrayDQ. It follows double-ended queue data structure, double-ended queue from the family of queue. Guys, queue in general in your real life, if there is a queue for something, can someone get in middle of the queue all of a sudden? Is it possible in the real life? What is your answer in this? Answer is no. So similar to that, if I am creating an object of ArrayDQ and if I want to perform some operations, data retrieval or data insertion, answer me one thing. Can I insert the data based on index? Yes, Sheikh, I will explain. Now, one by one, I will tell you. No, I hope you are able to understand. So here also it should not allow. So let me go here to the IDE. Okay. And let me create this time. I would like to comment this. I would like to just comment this. And now I'll create the object of ArrayDQ. I'll say ArrayDQ, type AD equals to new ArrayDQ and create. I would like to say here AD dot. I will add all. Add first is there, add last is there. But do you have add method which can perform insertion based on the index? Do we have any add method? No. Because it is coming from the family of queue. Queue data structures means you cannot perform any insertion or retrieval operation or any operation based on the index. So I'll say here add, maybe I'll add some data, 100. And I will say here ad.add first is there, add last is there. It will add the data at the first. And maybe it will add the data at the last. Okay. I will say here maybe 25. And if I have to print my collection system.out.println, I will say here print the collection. It is maintaining the order of insertion. You can see. But you might say first we are getting 50 because we ourselves have told at the beginning of the collection add 50. At the last of the collection add 25. Because of which it is showing this. But it is also maintaining the order of insertion. But you cannot perform index based operation. Fine. Now if I have to go quickly here, it is implementing DQ interface. I will show you the hierarchy at the end, guys, how things work, what is iterable hierarchy. Also we'll talk on this. DQ interface. DQ is a child of Q interface. Okay. So it is from the family of DQ interface. Double-ended queue, that means you can perform insertion and retrieval operation from the beginning of the collection or from the rear end of the collection. From both the ends, you can perform insertion or deletion. You cannot perform operations based on the index. You cannot just randomly give any index and perform the operation here. Now, I'll again discuss few more important methods of collection. Quickly, I'm just trying to make you understand a theme at which it is working. All the collection classes has and follows its own data structures. And all of the classes has its own speciality. So based on the need of the application, you can choose the collection class to store the data and to work with the data. Fine. Now let me go ahead. We have one more interesting class which is from the family of Q interface. The name of the predefined class is PriorityQ. PriorityQ. It is directly implementing the Q interface, and internally behind the scene it is following minimum heap data structure. We have something called as maximum heap data structure, minimum heap data structure. So PriorityQ by default behind the scene following minimum heap data structure. What do you mean by that? Please understand this to the best of your focus ability. I would like to go back here and maybe create a new class. Let me create a new class here. I'll give the name of the class as PriorityQ, launch PriorityQ, and let me have a main method to have as a separate application. I'll create the instance of PriorityQ, guys. I'll say here PriorityQ type maybe PQ equals to new PriorityQ. All right, done. Now I'll say PQ dot add. I'll add some data here. Maybe the data is 100. I'll say here PQ dot add. I'll say here 50. Okay. I'll say PQ dot add. I will say here 150. Great. I'll say PQ dot add. I will say here 25. Some random data I'm adding. Why I'm adding a larger volume of data? You need to understand that. I'm adding one more data. Maybe I'll say here 75. Any data you want, you can add. Say PQ dot add. I will say here maybe 125. Okay. I'll say here PQ dot add 175. I think it's sufficient, this much of data. And I would like to print my collection. All right, PQ. Please observe the order of insertion, my dear friends. In what order I have inserted the data. Here also index based axing is not allowed. That's a different thing. Now see 100, 50, 150, 25, 75, 125 and 175 is the order on which I have added the data, in which I have added the data. If I have to run my application, guys, is it maintaining the order of insertion? In whichever order you have added the data, is it in the same order? The answer is no. Is it in the sorted order? No, it is not in the sorted order. See here, after 175 is coming, before 100 125 is there. It is not in the sorted order. Is it in the order of inserted order? No. Then behind the scene, this priority queue is implementing minimum heap data structure. By implementing the minimum heap data structure, it is making sure that the highest priority element is readily available at the front of your collection, at the beginning of your collection, at the 0th index of your collection. Whatever data you have inserted, out of all, whichever data is of high priority will be ready-made available at the front of the data, your collection, by implementing minimum heap data structure. Now it's time to understand how minimum heap data structure works and how it is able to show the output like this. All right. So let me open here and try to understand these data structures. At least one or two data structures also we need to understand. So the data which I have inserted here is 10. Let me add that. Okay. I will say here, okay. Allow me just a minute of time, guys. All right. Allow me just a minute of time, okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right, guys. Yeah, technical glitch happens. So behind the scene, what happens here? What did I say? Minimum view data structure is what it is following. And the data which we have inserted into the collection is 100. This is the order which I have performed the insertion. 100, then followed by 50, 150, 25, 75. Then I have inserted the data as 125 and 175. Okay. How the data happens, please see here. Every time a node gets created, the moment you add 100 gets added to a node at the top of the hierarchy. Or before I even say this, let me explain in this. First of all, the data, let me just add this. Okay. Yeah. Whichever data you add, automatically added at the top. The second element which you perform the insertion, automatically that will go to the left. The third data which you add into the collection will go to the right. The fourth data which you add to the collection will go to the left of left. Then the fifth element will go here. Sixth element will come here and seventh will go here. Please understand this tree first in order to understand the other things here. First, second, third, then fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. Left, right, then left of left, right, then the right of left, right. Again, it will go like this. A way at which the tree is forming. This is the step number 1. Step number 2. What happens next? The first element which I am adding is 100. The second element which I am performing the insertion will go to the left, which is 50. The third element which I am performing the insertion is, it will go to the right, which is 150. Now, it will automatically not go further. It will check whatever element is there at the top node. Is it less than the child nodes or not? No, it is not. Since we have 50 here, 50 is there at the child, swapping will happen. Because highest priority element will go at the top. Fine. By swapping it, the formation will look something like this. 50 will come at the top. 50 will be swapped with 100. And right side 150. As it is. Because highest priority is there at the top. Now, which is the next data which you are adding? If I have to go up, you can see here 150, 150 added, 25 and 75. And based on this, 25 should go here and 75 should go here. Fourth data is 25. 1, 2, 3. Fourth data 25. Fifth will come here. Sixth will come here. Seventh will come here. Okay. I'll go back here. And the next data left of this, which is 25. Please see very carefully. 25 is what I'm adding here. Now tell me, if you compare the parent and child node. Child node has the highest, priority element. Swapping should happen here. It should swap. Now what will happen here? If you swap 50, okay, let me add here 50. Left of 50, 25 will come. Right side 150. Then left of this 100. Because 25 and 100 is swap. Again, is there any scope of swapping here? Yes, there is a scope because 50 at the top node. At the child node, we have 25. Always the highest priority will go up. If there is any mismatch, swapping will occur behind the scene. This is, I'm explaining behind the scene how it is getting implemented. Okay. Now, if you swap this, it will look something like this. 25 will go at the top. Left of is 50. Right of it 150. Then again left of it 100. The next element which you are adding is 75. It will go automatically here. And after which you are adding 125. And 125 and 150. Again swapping needs to happen. I'll go back here. So it is something like this. 25 at the top. Left of 25 we have 50. Here we had 150. Now swap with 125. Because child of this had 125. So if there is a child with highest priority swapping will happen. It is swapped, and here automatically we have 100, and here we have 75. Last data which we have here is 175. No need of swapping. Now this is the 0th level, this is the first level, and this is the second level. Let's have 0th level, we have 25, first level 50 and 125, second level 100, 75, 150, 175. Is our output same as what we have seen here? Let me just check it. Please here. The output is same as what we have seen. 25, 50, 125, 100, 75, 150 and 175. Behind the scene, based on the priority level of the element, if I have to ask you that two of my friends got, one of them got second rank and one of them got fifth rank, who has got the better rank? Who has got the better rank here? The one with fifth rank or the one with the first rank? I hope you could able to understand. So same way, based on the priorities, swapping will happen. It will make sure that the parent node has highest priority element. Based on the formation, by chance on the child node compared to the parent, if there is any mismatch of the priority level, it will swap. Fine. For that also ASCII's values are available. Okay. It is minimum heap, not the maximum heap. It is minimum heap and it is predefined Vishnu. And the maximum heap is reverse of this. It's a different. But right now, why I'm explaining this minimum data structure? Not to create the data structure. Behind the scene, the priority queue is implementing this. Since priority queue is implementing minimum heap data structure, we are getting the output in this style. Highest priority element at the beginning of your collection. Why are we getting? We are getting because behind the scene it follows minimum heap data structure. Now quickly, if I have to go ahead, by now at least can I expect you to know the theme at which collection classes are working? We have predefined classes, predefined methods. Okay. None of the classes, Arul Kumar. None of the collection classes uses maximum heap. Now guys, the next class, predefined class is tree set. Tree set, binary search tree family. It is implementing a sorted set, navigable set interface. Parent of navigable set interface is sorted set. Parent of sorted set interface is set. And all the classes which are coming from the set interface, tree set, has set, linked has set, duplicate values are not allowed. You cannot add duplicate values. The values inside the collection must be unique. So far, the 4 collection classes which we have seen, there can be multiple data available. Duplications were allowed. Here it is not allowed. Okay. Now, binary search tree, what happens in the red black algorithm, we need to understand. But before that, let me go here. And in place of this, I would like to do one thing here. Just to save the time, I would like to comment here and maybe write the class as tree set. Tree set. And here also I'll write the class name as tree set from the family of set. Okay. Great. I may have to import this. Okay. I have not imported. I will say here dot. You have ArrayList. We have all the predefined classes available here. All right. Since already PriorityQ is implemented, it should see here we have a class called as tree set. Okay, I'm importing. There's no issues here. All right. Okay, the spelling is wrong. Yeah, that's all. I would like to save this. It's done, guys. Now I would like to run this, and before I run, I would like you to understand one more point here also. Dot add. Do we have index based operations? Can you perform index based insertion or any of the operations in tree set also? No. Index based operations you can perform only in ArrayList and LinkList. Apart from ArrayList and LinkList, you cannot perform any operation based on the index. None of the classes. Okay. Now we have added certain data, and if I have to run this, please understand here. Are we getting in the order of insertion? Order of insertion means in whichever order I have inserted the data, am I getting the output in the same order? The answer is no. Now, in which order it is? It is in the ascending sorted order. Fine. Now, how behind the scene it is working is what we need to understand here. I would like to go back here. Whenever you add the data in case of tree set, first element which you are adding is 100. Great. Now, second data automatically will not go to the left. Unlike in the priority queue, you have seen second to the left, third to the right, then left of this, right of this, nothing as such. Before it insert, it check second data which you are performing insertion on, or second data which you are trying to insert. Is it greater than 100 or less than 100? If it is greater than 100, it will go to the right of it. If it is less than 100, it will go to the left of it. Now tell me, the second data which I am inserting is 100. What is that second data? 100, 50, 150, 25, 75, 125, 175. Okay. Second data which I have inserted is 50. Is 50 greater than 100 or less than 100? It is less than. Less than 100 means it will go to the left. Next data I am adding is 150. 150, is it less than 100 or greater than 100? 150 is greater than 100. It will go to the right. Next data which you are adding is 25. 25, is it less than 100? Yes, left side. Is it less than 50 or greater than 50? Less than 50, left of this. Next data which you are performing insertion on is 75. 75 is less than 100, left. Greater than 50, right of 50. Next data which you have inserted is 125. It is greater than 100, so right side. Less than 150, left of 150. 175 is right of 150 because it is greater than 150. This is how the tree will be formed. And such tree, based on the data, if it is getting formed, we call this as balanced binary search tree, because the tree right now is a well balanced tree. And on this tree, one of the traversal technique will be applied. We have something called as post order traversal, in order traversal. So here in order traversal will be applied. In order traversal, it is left node and right, or you can say left value or right. So in order traversal meaning traveling over something, traversing, going somewhere and fetching that value. That's the meaning of traversing. Now at the top of this node, please apply LVR based on in order traversal. LVR means L means left, R means right, value or node means that current data which you have to fetch. LVR, first left has to be completed. I will strike that left, go to the left of this. I will apply here LVR. Left first, I will strike this left, go to the left of this. LVR. Left, there is nothing left out in the left. Then I will strike the value 25. Then right, nothing is there in the right. Go back to the parent. Left part is over here. Then left out is value. That value I will fetch it. Then I will strike the R, go here. LVR. Left, nothing is there. Value 75. Right, no, nothing is left out. Go back to the parent. LVR is over. Go back. Left is over. What is left out? Value. Value is 100. Then what we have here? Right, strike and go back here. LVR. L, I'll come here. LVR. Left, nothing is there. Value 125. Right, nothing is left out. Go back to the parent. Left is over. What is left out? Value. which is 150. Right, LVR. Left nothing is there. Value is 175. Right, nothing is there. By traversing on the balanced binary search tree and implementing in order traversal, are you able to get the data in the sorted order, guys? Are you able to get the data in the sorted order? Yes, no, maybe. See here, we are able to get it. So is it I am implementing, or by default behind the scene tree set is implementing? Tree set. And tree set follows which order traversal? In order traversal. And I have one question to all of you. If you want to store the data in sorted order, which of the collection classes will you choose? Which of the collection classes will you choose? Yes, Vishnu. It is tree set. Fine. Now, if I have to go down, we have hash set and linked hash set. Again, hashing technologies. But before that, I would like to implement that also here, just to show you. I will say here, duplicates I will try to enter, guys. Duplicate value dot add. I will say here 175 one more time. If I add 175 one more time, and if I have to run this, you can see it is not getting added. So duplicates are not allowed in any of the classes from the family of set interface. Tree set, hash set, linked hash set. These three classes, duplicate value you cannot add. Okay. Now I would like to just create one more class here for hash set and linked hash set. Hash set, and I'll say here, maybe let me have a main method as well here, and I will say here hash set type hs equals to new hash set, and now I'll say hs dot add. Okay, hs dot. So is it implementing correctly or not? We should have an add method here. Okay, let me see the imports. I would like to just go back and check. Oops, it is not importing. All right, let me go back and add the actual class. Okay. Let me have imports here. Okay, hs equals to new hash set. Let me just add the hash set from the family of util package. Okay. All right. Directly, see, if you don't write the import statement at the top, you can say java.util.hash. If not, you can do the imports. If you don't write the import statement like this, you have to write the class. There is no difference in that. I hope you should be in a position to understand that. I'll go at the top of the class and manually I'll write the import. I'll say import java.util dot, maybe I'll say star because I want to use all the classes. No problem now. I will say here dot. Oops, it is not allowing me to import this. I will say here dot hash set. Let me add it. Okay, then let me say here dot add method is available here also, guys. All right. Nope. Oops, the problem is I have created the class name as hash name. My bad. You cannot create a class name, method name, variable name with the reserved words. That's the reason. There is an option of refactor. Refactoring is what you need to understand here. I will say here, go back to the class of hash set, right click, refactor, rename. I'll rename it as launch hash set. I will say launch hash set. Refactored it successfully. Now the problem is solved. I would like to go back here and say hash set. In the process, we could able to understand that. Okay, new hash set of the util package. Now I'll say set dot add. Good that this happened. In the process, you understood about the refactoring. Okay, refactoring is something very important, especially whenever we go for the corporate trainings. The requirement from the corporates for us is to teach about commenting part, how to comment, how to read the clean code, about the refactoring, restructuring, many things. Okay, anyway, I would like to add some data here. Randomly I'll add some data. I'll say set dot add 50. I'll say set dot add, I will say here 150, and I'll say here set dot add, I'll say here 44. Randomly I'm adding the data, guys. Okay, if I have to go back here and say set, and if I have to run this, the order of insertion is not maintained here, you can see, and it is not in the proper order. It is not following a specific data structure. Behind the scene, it follows hashing algorithm. In the hashing algorithm, two things we have. We have hash function, we have hash table. Hash function, you'll have a formula in a way that every data you add will go and sit in a specific table, specific bucket of hash table without any collision, wherein whenever you perform the searching operation with the time complexity of big O of 1, immediately the data will be searched. The time complexity of big O of 1, the data will be searched immediately. Fine. That's how the behind the scene it is being implemented, hashing. One difference is in Java 5, they have added this class linked hash set. Linked hash set class, and this was not there all the time. It was added later. Okay, this was added later in the Java. Okay, I would like to go back here, which is like follows hashing algorithm with one thing here, extra thing, that it maintains the order of insertion. If you want to follow the hashing algorithm by maintaining the order of insertion, then linked hash set you have to go with. If not, hash set will not maintain the order of insertion, it is unknown. But it follows hashing algorithm wherein we have hash function and hash table. The data will be stored in a way that whenever you perform the searching operation, it will happen quickly with big O of 1. Fine. Now, duplicates are not allowed here also. You cannot have the duplicates value. If I have to give the summary, because I have to discuss some more important topics from the family of collection, I would like to go back and open this very quickly. So here, all right, whenever you perform the searching operation in any of the collection classes, the time complexity is big O of n, because how much ever data you have, how much ever elements you have, that many times linearly it will search whether the data is available or not. Linear searching of the data. But in case of tree set, that is not the case. If example 300 is what you want to search, it will go here to the first node. It is not there. Is 300 less than 100 or greater than 100? It is greater than 100. It will go to the right of it. Greater than 150, right of this. Greater than 175. So it will search for only 3 times. Totally we have 7 elements. But searching is done only for 3 elements. But in case of other classes, it will search for every index, whatever is available. Every place it will search. 200 is there here. No, it is not there here. Here. Linearly, it will search for all the indexes, all the elements. So big O of n. But in case of tree set, it is not the case. In case of hash table, it is big O of 1. That's how the hash function will be designed. That's how the formula they have given in the hash table, that data will be stored in a specific table. And if it is not there inside that bucket, then there is no data. That's the meaning of it. What if the tree set you are using and the data which you are inserting is this: 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50, or maybe 60. In that case, if you are following the tree set, red black algorithm, or you can say the binary search tree, first element is added. Second element, is it greater than 10 or less than 10? 20 is greater than 10, right of this. Again 30. 30 is less than 20 or greater than 20? Greater than 20, right of this. 40 greater than 30, right of this. 50, right of this. 60, right of this. Whatever tree is forming right now, is it balanced binary search tree? No. Cleverly, last example, I have taken this value in a way that because of the type I am inserting, because of the data which I am inserting, it is balanced tree. Sudhanshu is asking about the same. For the square tree situation, it is not big of no log n, right? Yes. Why? That's what I'm taking, Sudhanshu, for you only. See here. Please look at this. Very cleverly I have chosen the data. The tree was forming very balanced. Right now, based on the data, are we following the balanced tree? No. Are you getting the tree something like this? Well balanced tree? No, right? And this type of tree we call it as square tree. Square tree. And now I want to search 200 is there or not. 200 is there or not. It will check it is there here. Nope. 200 is greater than 10. It will go and check here. Not there. It is greater than 20. Not there. Here also it will check. Here also it will check. Here also it will check. So how many elements? 6 elements. How many times it is searching 200 is there or not? 6 times. So what is the time complexity? Sudhanshu? So tree set is good for the searching operation if the tree which is getting formed based on the data is balanced tree. If the tree which you are searching is formed is a square tree, in that case it is also big of n, and in that case you can go with the hash table. Fine. Now the conclusion is, guys, all the collection classes which we have seen so far, all of them are following their own data structures, their own algorithms. All of them have their own style of storing the data. All of them are working in their own style. But whenever you have a large volume of data which you want to store at one place and perform the manipulation, you can go with any of these classes. Fine. And all these classes are unique. They are following a unifying theme. Unity is there in terms of following the structure and the theme, the way. But all of them has their own specialty. ArrayList has its own specialty. LinkList has its own specialty. TreeSet has its own specialty. PriorityQ has its own specialty. I hope you are able to understand here. Okay. Right now it's not possible, Rul Kumar. I have to discuss at least 2 hours separately on the hashing algorithm. If I touch hashing algorithm, minimum 2 hours I need to give you complete picture. If not, I would have definitely given, because I don't want to left out something unattended. Okay. Anyway, guys, let's understand the hierarchy. The classes which we have seen here is, these are the classes which we have seen so far. The class number 1 which we have seen is ArrayList. Okay. ArrayList we have seen. Also we have seen linked list. Also we have seen ArrayDQ. We have seen PriorityQ. TreeSet. We have seen hash set, how the hierarchy is arranged. And the child class of hash set which is added in Java 5 is linked hash set. Okay. Now there are 3 major interfaces. Number 1 major interface is list. Number 2 major interface is queue. Number 3 major interface is set. These are the interfaces, not the classes, they are interfaces. This is how the hierarchy has been arranged for these predefined classes. Parent of this interface, we have one common parent of this interface. Name of the interface is collection. Name of the interface is collection. And parent of this interface is iterable. So who is the parent of entire collection hierarchy? It is iterable. You might have seen some of the methods which were there in all the classes. They are coming from the top hierarchy. Few methods were there only in ArrayList and LinkList. That means they are coming from list interface. Few methods were there only in the ArrayDQ. They're coming from the DQ interface, which is LinkList is also implementing, ArrayDQ is also implementing. PriorityQ directly implementing the queue. Has set directly implementing the set. Child of set interface, we have sorted set. Child of sorted set, we have navigable set. I cannot discuss navigable. There is no place here. I will implement directly this only. This is how the hierarchy has been arranged. Fine. I'm first time here. When you take live same time or when? Usually the class yesterday morning we have started. It is going on till now. This is the second day, second session. Overall, fourth session of this free course. Okay. Who is the parent? Iterable is a parent, collection, and these are the parents. Now guys, in the list, classes which comes under list and queue interfaces, duplicates are allowed. But classes which comes under the set interface, can you add duplicate values? Yeah, sure, Mansur. There it is runtime exception. Runtime exception parent is exception. Fine. So exception is the parent of all classes in that case. In case of ArrayList and LinkList, you can maintain the order of insertion. ArrayDQ also maintains the order of insertion. Okay, let me just show you this. Okay, how last discussion of this collection topic, and then I will start one topic which is important about iterator. Iterable is a predefined interface which is a parent of all interfaces. Okay, and there is one method inside this interface which is iterator interface, iterator method. Using this iterator method only, you have to fetch the values which are there in your collection classes. Okay, how do we do that is what we need to understand here. Let me just talk on the concept of iterator. I'll go back here. Any collection class you take, example, we have some data added here. Right now, if you just say here, it is just printing. Okay, let me just comment this part and all right, I would like to just uncomment this part and run this application. If I have to run this application, you can see you are getting the data. You are just printing it on the console, not the accessing. If you want to access the data, it's a recommended way is to go with iterable to achieve something called as fail fast. If you want fail safe, then there is a predefined package called as concurrent package. Within the concurrent package, then there are some classes which you have to use. Copy on ArrayList, copy on LinkList. Because collection is a very big topic, guys. It's very big topic and I'm trying to summarize within 1 hour of time. Okay. Now, if you want to retrieve the data, all the data of your collection, what we usually follow is ll1 dot iterator method. Iterator. This iterator method will give you an iterator object. I would like to collect here. I'll say here, iterator object. I'll say itr, and itr is of what type? It is of iterator type. Okay, I will add this. It is like one cursor. I will explain how this exactly working. Okay, now I will check itr dot has next. I will say here while as long as I will say here itr dot has next value. Dot has next value. Why has next? I will show you in the next 2 minutes of time. I would like to just print system.out.println. I will say here itr dot next. Itr dot next. I would like to print it, and this way is what you have to print, or you have to fetch the data. Okay. Oh, I have not given this thing here. Let me stop this. I would like to stop this program. Has next I am printing. In place of has next, I have to print next only. Okay, not the has next. Okay. Now the problem will not be there. If I have to run this, you are getting the data. How exactly this working is what you need to understand. Okay, how iterator is working. See here, suppose this is my collection. Collection could be any of the class. This is my collection 10, 20, 30, 40. Great. This is my collection and this is the indexes. The moment you invoke the iterator method, one iterator object will be created. It is like one cursor which will be pointing at the doorstep of your collection. And whenever you want to fetch the value, you have to invoke one method called as itr.next. The duty of next method of the iterator object is to go and fetch the next value available. You can directly use this next, but to avoid the null pointer exception, it is recommended to first check itr dot has next. That means wherever currently itr is referring, next to it whether data is there or not. If there is a data here, then I am telling if there is a data, then go to the next position and fetch it. Then it will go to the next position and fetch that 10. Again I'm checking, is there a data next to it? Has it any data? If yes, again I'm invoking go to the next position, fetch this. Now if you have seen this, I would like to go back here and show you the code. See here, first I'm checking, is there any data? After if it is there any data, then I'm invoking the next method to fetch the data. Next method will make that cursor to go to the next position and retrieve the data. Both of that, the next method will go to the next and fetch it. But directly also you can implement next method. What if there is no data in the next position? It will lead to null pointer exception. To avoid that, I am just first checking, is there any data? If it is yes, go and get it. It is one of the way to fetch the data which is there in your collection. Is that fine, everyone? All of you? Those are part of the class, especially on the Zoom. Great. So iterator is something which is being used in order to fetch the data. Okay, in order to retrieve the data which is there in your collection. It is recommended to go with the iterator object. Like iterator, we have list iterator also. If you want to traverse in the reverse order, exactly opposite order, I would like to invoke that also here. I'll give one differentiating factor. Maybe I'll say system.out.println one differentiating factor. List iterator means it is there only in the list based classes, not all the classes. I will say here itr dot list, itr, not itr, my bad. I'll say list dot ll1 dot list iterator, where you have to specify index. Also you can specify to travel in the reverse or forward, or you can say list iterator. And I'll go back here. Okay, let me go to the list only, where I'll specify the size. I'll say ll1 dot size. What is the size of the collection? Size of the collection is 1 2 3 4. Okay, it will create one collection right now, itr2. Okay, I will say here list iterator. All right, great. Now guys, I'll go back here and just to tell you what is happening here. I have called one method called as list iterator, and I have specified the size 1 2 3 4. Now whatever iterator is getting created, right, it is getting created at the, okay, let me add this here, at the last iterator is present here, because I have told list iterator size is 1 2 3 4 0 1 2 3 4. So my iterator cursor is right now here. I want to traverse in the reverse direction. So before, if you want to get from the reverse, then you have to invoke the method iterator.previous method. Directly not recommended to come back. First I will check. What I will check here? I'll go back here and I will check here itr2. There is something called as, okay, itr2, right? itr2 dot has previous. See, has previous. That means wherever cursor is pointing, previous to it there is data or not. So I would like to just go here, apply within a loop. I'll say while as long as I'll go back here and say itr2 dot has previous, because right now I have told go iterator, go to the last position, traverse from the reverse direction. Okay, and now I will check here system.out.println. Please print. What to print? I will say here itr2 dot previous method, itr2 dot previous. See here, previous method. If I have to run this, You can see the data will be traversed in that previous way. See 30, 45, 20 and 10 in the reverse order. So using the iterator methods of your collection hierarchy, usually we traverse over the collection and we perform the operations. Fine. All right. Now guys, just to summarize all of you, ArrayList and LinkList class, we can perform insertion based on the index. We can perform retrieval based on the index. Iterator also can be used. List iterator can also be used. Duplicates are allowed. Null value is allowed. It is dynamic in nature. It is maintaining the order of insertion. Coming to ArrayDQ class, index based axing is not allowed. Duplicates are allowed. There is no problem. It is maintaining the order of insertion. Coming to the PriorityQ class, index based insertion or deletion operation is not allowed, and it is internally following mini heap data structure wherein readily available highest priority element will be available at the beginning of the collection. Order of insertion is not maintained. Duplicate values are allowed, no problem. Coming to tree set, hash set, linked hash set, good for the retrieval part. They will not maintain the data in order of insertion. Duplicate values are also not allowed in those classes. They comes from the family of set based classes. So whenever you want to maintain a collection which has only unique values, in that case you can go with the concept of tree set or hash set or linked hash set. Tree set stores the data in sorted order by default and follows the binary search tree. Based on the data, there can be a tree which is balanced binary search tree. There can be a tree which is a squid tree. If the tree which is forming balance, then retrieval becomes easy. If the tree which is getting form is squid, then the retrieval becomes very difficult. I mean, same as the other classes with big O of 1, big O of n, then you may have to go with the other classes. Fine. But in the real time scenario, most of the cases we go with the ArrayList or LinkList only. Unless sometimes if you want to maintain a unique data, we go with hash set class. Hash set for the uniqueness. Apart from that, very often 90% of the cases ArrayList or LinkList is only used behind the scene. Okay. I hope all of you could able to understand this much. What is the use of stream is the question from the Vishnu Shankar Sharma, one of the major. Could you please explain collection collects the data in the key value pair? That is map, Vishal Kumar. The question is map. Map is one more part of the collection, but not from this hierarchy of iterable. It is a different hierarchy. Comes under the family of collection because the term, generic term collection of data. By that term, it comes under the family of collection where you can store the data in the form of key value pair. But stream we will discuss, guys. Stream we have to discuss the stream API part. That is what we need to discuss in the upcoming part of this particular class. So let's take 5-10 minutes of break. After 5-10 minutes of break, we are going to start with the concept of stream API. Is that fine, every one of you? There is something called as a collections class. Yes, Arul. In the collections is a predefined class, a utility class. Suppose you want to perform some operation on the data on the collection, and whatever predefined methods are there, those methods are not sufficient. Then you can go with the methods, a utility class called as collections class. Inside this, there are static methods which you can use. Just to give one conclusion note to all of you. Collection is again one of the very vast topic. I personally take 10 classes to complete collection in my live batch. Map, collection, stream API, collections class, comparator, comparable interface. So much is there to complete. I take minimum 20 hours of time to discuss this entire topic. And I'm glad that I could able to give you a quick summary of this entire topic within the time of 1 or 2 hours, which usually what I take 20 hours of discussion. Okay. But yeah, collections is a class, a predefined class, a very important class. Inside this, there are so many static methods. We have frequency method. We have a minimum frequency, how many times a particular element is present or not. You can shuffle it. You can sort the data which is there in your collection. You can sort the data by implementing comparable and comparator interface. lot of discussions. It's a very depth concept and very interesting concept, which you need to know. But however, you got the theme of collection and you got why collection and how these things works in the collection as a developer. That is sufficient for now. Quickly, let's take 10 minutes of break, guys. After 10 minutes of time, we are going to start with the topic of stream API, which is again very crucial, and after which we will conclude. If time permits, annotation. If not, on the Telesco YouTube channel, in the live section, there is a topic on annotation. 1 year ago, me and Nevin sir had gone live and we had discussed the concept of annotation for 1 long hour. So you can watch it. Okay. So now let's take 5-10 minutes of break and get back with the stream API topic. All right.
Okay, welcome back. I hope I'm properly audible. Just let me know in the chat. Okay, perfect. So now let's move towards the next topic, which is Stream API, and we are going to end our session with that. We might finish early. Let's see. Okay, so we have worked, from start, we have talked about variables, methods, class, objects, in fact, the entire OOPS concept. We moved towards interfaces. We started today with the lambda expression. Then we focused on exception handling, then collection, a lot of concepts, right? Now, when you work with data, and we started with data itself, which is variables, and in the world of data. In fact, AI is booming. See, it's all about data, right? You process data. In fact, with AI also, what you're achieving is you are achieving information. So in the initial days, or maybe few months ago, we used to rely on Google search and stuff, Stack Overflow. But now we rely more on what AI tells us. And most of the AI tools also tell you that they are not generating. There might be some false information, but I don't think people do care about false information nowadays. They just use the data. Anyway, why I'm going in that way. The point is, it's all about processing data. Now in collection, we talked about how can you have a lot of data. Example, you can use collection, you can use normal list, ArrayList, and or LinkList. You normally store data there, right? Now, what do you do with this data? Now, most of the time, this data can have information about something, and maybe you want to store that data somewhere. Maybe you want to send data somewhere. So when I say stored, maybe you want to store it in database. Maybe you want to send it to someone. That means you are sending the data from the server to client, maybe from server to server, or maybe you want to process that data. Maybe you want to find the average age. So let's say you have a lot of entries, a lot of age of different people, and maybe you want to find the average of all those age. Maybe you want to find the average of all the heights, or maybe you want to sum up all the money or the bank balance. Now, basically you perform those operations, right? Now, you can perform those operations with the help of for loop as well. So what I'm talking about is, okay, you can't hear me, is it? Maybe some other issue. Atul, if you can reconnect, I think I'm audible. I'm assuming I'm audible. No one complained before you. So yeah, Vishal says it's audible. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to create a new class, and I will name this as stream demo because we are focusing on stream API now. And what I want to achieve is, of course, I need a main method. Now inside this, maybe I want to create a collection. So maybe I just want to create a linked list, or maybe not linked list, array list. So I will say list. This is weird. I don't know what's, so this is, I don't know why it's always Heather's project which creates issue. Some people are so fan of Eclipse, when they touch IntelliJ, IntelliJ feels bad. What I will do is I will just go back to the interface project which was working. In fact, I should be doing this in this project itself. I don't know why it's not able to get this. Okay, am I doing anything wrong here? I'm in the right project. And collections, ArrayList. I'm not doing collection API here. Weird. No. Main methods classes. Yeah, there was issue in this as well. I mean, the code will work. That's what we have realized before. Okay, I'll stick to my interface project. And let me create a new class, stream demo. And if I try to, yeah, so I'm getting list here. I don't know why. Some issue with the ID, I'm not sure. Maybe the type of project we are creating, that's the issue. Let's see. So let's say I want to work with the list of integers. So I'm saying integers here. And I will say nums is equal to new ArrayList. And maybe I just want to have some numbers here by default. So I will say, let's have some numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So let's say we have all these numbers. I forgot the syntax of creating an array. This is what happens when you work with multiple languages. Oh, okay. So how do I pass the data directly? One way is you can pass an array. Yes, that's right. So currently from few days or few months, actually, I'm working with Python, exploring AI, and Java just got stuck there. Okay, so arrays start as list and I can pass the value. And also when I go back from Java to Python, I struggle there. I think that's common. Anyway, so we got this nums and I just want to see if this output is, I mean, the data is correct. I will just run this to see everything is there. And here we got it. Okay, so now what I want to do with this data is maybe I want to process this data, not to store it or not to send it to someone. Maybe I just want to process it to make sense out of it. Maybe I just want to add all the values. Now question arises, how will you add all the values? It's very simple. You can use a variable and you can say this is result. Each of the value will be 0. And to add all the values, basically you will run a loop int I and now I'm typing the Python code again. Okay, so I will go from first value to last value and then I will just say result is equal to result plus num. That's how basically you add all the values, right? Not nums, I. And once you have done it, you can simply print the result. It will print the sum of all the values and 45. I think that's correct. So you got the value here. That's how you basically add all the values. Maybe you want to basically, let's say, not add all, but only you want to add the odd numbers. So how do you add the odd numbers? So maybe before you do this, before you add, you can check if I mod 2 is not equal to 0, then only add, otherwise don't add. So the addition, what you will get is only for the odd numbers. And it's 25, might be correct. Maybe you also want to double the value before you add it. So of course you want to add all the numbers, odd numbers, but before you add, you want to double it. So one way to double it is you can simply say I into 2, and then you are adding it to the result. So this should give you 50. So what we're trying to achieve here is 3 things. you want to add all the values, but you want to add only the odd numbers, add odd numbers. And also you want to double the value before adding it. Now this is the imperative way of doing it. There's another way, which I will show you now. Let me just comment this part. So let's say what's the alternate way. So what you can do is you can use this nums, you can say dot, and first you have to find all the odd numbers. So you apply filter, and then you say I, or maybe n mod n arrow n mod 2. I will explain the code in some time, and you can see I'm using the arrow there, which is lambda dot map n mod reduce. I'm going to explain, don't worry. Okay, so whatever we have done here can be done like this. And now if you run this, you got the same value. So this is basically a way, the imperative way of doing it. This here is a declarative way of doing it. And this can be done with the help of streams. Now what is stream? Stream is basically a stream API which was introduced in Java 8, where you can, when you have a data, you can send that data for the filtering, you can send that data for the mapping, you can send that data for reducing. And this concept came from, there's something called MapReduce. I don't know how many of you worked with big data. There's a concept of MapReduce, and it uses that, right? Map and reduce. So this is one of the examples. But what we are doing here, I don't know what we have done, right? If that's what you're thinking, let's do this step by step. Let's talk about what are streams first of all. Now let's say if you have a collection, with these collections you can use something called stream. Now what this stream will do is, stream will give you the type of stream. So stream of integers, and you can say this is S1. Now stream came in Java 8, as I mentioned. So if you go to documentation, it will say it came in Java 1.8. Now, whatever data you have in your collection is a part of a stream. Now you will say, what's the advantage of it? When you have collection, why to waste why to waste more time learning stream? See, stream is beautiful. You know why? Let me show you something. What I'm doing is I got all the numbers and I'm storing that in a stream which is S1, okay? And now, let's say if I print S1, let's see what happens if I print S1. So S1 is printing this. Maybe I should be printing the values. You can convert a stream to list to print, or maybe you want to print the count of it. So if you run this, it will give the number of elements. You got 9 elements there. And again, if you try to do something with stream, let's say maybe you want to convert that to list to print it. And if you run this, it should print 9. And it should print the list. But we got error. Anyone, any guess what is happening here? No, nothing wrong with the ID. What is happening here? Okay, you are saying S1 is already exist. I think so. Yeah, it is existing here. It's just that it is giving you error on line number 16. There's no error on line number 15. Stream never complained about it. But the moment you use toList, it is complaining. Maybe the method is wrong. So what I will do is I will just comment this line number 15. And let's run this. So it should give error now as well. And it's working. You can see if I only use list, it is working. That means there's something wrong if I use S1 again. Now stream is like a stream of water. So let's say if you're sitting at the river bank, and when you touch the water, you can't touch the same water again, right? It's gone. And whenever you touch now, that's a new stream. So stream can be used only once. And in the world of data, where you are processing data, and when you have multiple process using the same data, they can create issues there. So one process is changing it, another process is reading it, there will be inconsistency. Now what stream says is, once you give data to me, you can perform the operation only once. Okay, so this is good for data consistency. So once you have used stream here, you can't reuse it. Point to remember. Okay, and that's what it says. So instead of converting and count, let's do something else. Let's say from the stream, I want to get all the odd numbers. Example, if I print S1 here with toList, it prints all the numbers. Maybe I don't want to print all the numbers. I just want odd numbers. What you can do is you can use S1. Now, since you want few elements, not all, so you can apply something called a filter. So S1 dot filter, there's a method called filter. Now using this filter, you can filter the elements. How do we do it? To this filter, you give one value at a time. Let's say you're giving n. And on that n, which condition you want to apply, you can write it here. So n mod 2 is not equal to 0. This is the condition you're applying to it. Okay, and then what this filter will do it, see the problem is if I use filter here, then I can't use toList on S1, right, everyone? I'm waiting for the answer. Yeah. So basically, if I use stream here, if I apply a method on a stream here, I can't reuse it. It will give you error. And that's why if you look at the filter method here returns stream. That means I can create a new stream here, which is S2. It's like taking a water and then you add some chemical to it or maybe some color to it, you get a different water, a different stream. So you applied something and you got a different stream. And now you can apply the toList method on the new stream. And if you try to print the new stream now, it will only have the odd numbers. Everyone there with me? Okay, what's the point you're not getting? Is it this thing which we are doing inside the filter or how it gives the new stream? The new stream, okay. So this filter, what it does is it performs its operation, whatever operation you say to perform, and it says, okay, I want to filter based on odd numbers. It will give the odd numbers out and it will return the stream format. So you are getting a new stream. So this S2 is a new stream object. You are not using the same stream again. I don't remember using filter in JS. It will be same. It might be same. So now n is not the index. Now I will explain this in some time what I did here. But do you got this concept? Filter returns a new stream, so that I can focus on this part now. Okay. So this filter returns a new stream of values. So we are not printing the stream 1. And mind you, we are not even touching the list here. We're not touching the list. List is same. Example, if I come back here down and if I try to print nums, whatever you do with the stream will not affect your original data. Your original list is still same. What we are doing is we are performing the operation on the stream. So from this list, we got a stream, and on that new stream, we applied a filter here, which is giving you a new stream. So this filter gives you a new stream. And on that new stream, you are performing toList. So you can use stream only once. Okay, now let's talk about what we are doing here. Now, if this is confused, Confusing? Don't worry. What I will do is I will just comment this and let's write this one more time. So it's a stream integer s2 is equal to s1 dot filter. Now filter is a method which is an inbuilt filter, and filter needs an object of predicate. Okay, so basically if you want to use filter, we have to pass an object of a predicate. So that means I have to create the object of predicate here. Now what is predicate? So let's go back here and say predicate. Now you can see predicate is a interface, belongs to a package function. Okay, so I'll say predicate of numbers. I will say P1 is equal to new predicate. But unfortunately, predicate itself is an interface. Can I create the object of it? Yes, no. No, right? We can't create the object of predicate. So what are the options we have? So we can create a class, a separate class, right? Which will implement the interface. And we have seen that before. And then in the morning, we talked about anonymous inner class. So we can create anonymous inner class here. So let's do that. So we are creating anonymous inner class, as you can see here. We can create a different class, but then we are going to use this only once. Then why to waste an entire class there? So we got new predicate in which you have a method, only one method, mind you, only one method. And the method name is test, in which you are passing the object of integer. And we have to return true or false. But then true or false should be based on some condition, right? So condition is what? If the integer, in fact, instead of saying integer, I will say n. And if I say n, mod 2 is not equal to 0. So we have to return a Boolean value based on this condition. So I want the odd number. This is how you get the odd numbers. So this is how you create the object of predicate. Once you got the predicate object, you pass the predicate object in the stream, or not the stream, in the filter. So you will say P1. Everyone there with me? Filter needs the object of predicate, which we are creating here, and we are passing the object. Simple stuff. And now let's see if this is running and run. It works. It is still working. Filter is still working. You can see we got all the odd numbers here. Yeah, if I change the logic, if I say I want the odd numbers, I just have to remove the exclamation mark, replace that with equal to, and you will get the odd numbers. Sorry, even numbers. So I wanted odd numbers, I will stick to it, and you got odd numbers there. Now tell me, this is anonymous inner class, and it's of interface which has only one method. So we can use something here. What's that? Lambda. So we can replace from here to here. Delete. Now since we have removed one curly bracket, we'll remove this as well. And we just have to put an arrow here. Now since we only have one statement, you can remove these curly brackets. And if that one statement is only the return, then you don't even have to mention the return keyword. And we don't even have to mention the type of the variable. And since we only have one variable, we can replace this. And that's the part of lambda, right? We can just write it in one line. Run this, and you can see we got the same output. So we are creating the object of predicate here, which is P1, and the same P1 we are passing here. Don't you think instead of passing P1, we can directly pass this? If A is equal to B, then wherever you have A, you can put B. So we can just simply comment it. We don't need predicate now. And that's how you got this syntax. Making sense? Okay. What else we can do with this stream? Now, once you got this stream S2, I got all the odd numbers here. Now I want to double all the odd numbers. Now the way you can change the existing value is with the help of map function. So there's a map function which takes the value and then you can perform any operation to it. Okay, so s.map, and the code for that is this, n into 2. Now you want to see the longer format of it, imperative style? Now, first of all, I will show you the imperative style of this, but we are performing an operation on S2 here, so we can't use S2 here to print it. So I will just use a new stream, and you can create any number of stream you want. I will say S3. So first we are performing the stream operation on, okay, I will just remove this line now. We are performing the stream operation on, on the collection, on the list basically. You got S1. On S1 we are performing filter, you got S2. On S2 we are performing a map, you got S3, and then you can print S3 here. Run, and you will see you will get the same value but double the value. So 1 became 2, 2 became 3 became 6, and so on. But what is happening here? To understand this, let's see what is needed for map. So map needs the object of function, okay? And this is a weird part of Java, right? You got a class called class, you got a class called object, you got a class called function, interface called function. Every language is scary at one point. Okay, so let's create the object of function the way we have done for predicate. So I will say function. Now function takes two values, what it accepts and what it returns. It accepts the integer, it returns the integer, and I will say fun is equal to new function, but function is an interface, so we have to use anonymous in a class. And this takes integer, and we have to return. It will, let's say the variable name is n. Here we have to perform the operation, whatever operation you want to perform, which is n into 2. This will return that value. Now, since this is anonymous in a class, we can perform the lambda. So we can remove this, we can remove this curly brackets, we just need to put an arrow here, we don't need to specify the type, we don't need this the round brackets, and we don't need this return keyword, and we don't need this curly brackets as I mentioned. Okay, why function needs two types? One, what it accepts, and one, what it returns. Maybe you're accepting an integer and you want to return a float. Let's say if you want to find the square root of a number. So you will pass the integer, you will get the float or double. So to specify those types here, what you are sending, what you are accepting. Does that make sense, Arul? Okay. So we need to pass fun here, but instead of passing fun, we are passing this logic. Making sense? The same goes for the reduce. Okay, so in S2 you got, in S3 you got the list, and you can see we got all the double the values. But what if you want to find the sum of it? You want to add all the values. Now in that case, let's use S3 dot. There's a method called reduce. So if you want to reduce into one value, you use reduce method. And first of all, let's see what reduce takes. So reduce takes two parameters. One is a value, and one is the object of binary operator. Okay. It returns t. Now this is different. If you look at map returns a stream. Same goes for filter. Filter returns stream. But if you look at reduce, reduce is not returning a stream. If you observe, it is not returning a stream. That means when you perform the reduce operation, you will not receive a stream. Then what to do? How do you perform stream operation on the output of reduce? And we don't. There is something called a intermediate function or a terminal function. So all these methods like filter, map, they're intermediate. So basically, when you call them, you get stream in return. The methods like reduce, they are terminate function. So this is a terminal function, and it will return the integer. So I will say result is equal to s3.reduce. Now reduce takes two parameters. The first parameter is 0. I will explain what that first parameter is in some time. But what about the second parameter? The second parameter is the object of binary operator. So if you see, there's an object of binary operator. What is binary operator? It's an interface which does not have any abstract method. Let's go to by function. There's an abstract method called apply. So I need to create object of, okay, let's explain the object here. Let's explain the method. So the method name is apply. Apply takes two parameters, t and u, and it returns you a value. Okay, and all the values will be same. So basically you have to, so tell me everyone, if I use my board here, how do you add numbers? Let's say if I give you a number like 2, 4, 6, 8, how do you add this to all these numbers? In your mind, how will you do it? Now, basically what you will do is you will take two numbers at a time, then you add them, you get 6, then you take next two numbers, then you add them, you will get 12, then you add next two numbers, then you get 20. Isn't it how you add numbers in your mind? Yeah, this is the same concept we have to use in reduce. So basically you have to accept two value at a time, let's say C and E. Why I'm calling C and E, why not some other variable? Is because when you add two values, let's say if you're adding 2 and 4, basically your 2 becomes C and your 4 becomes E. E stands for element and C stands for carry. Example, this 6 is carried from this 2, this 12 is carried from this 2, and this 20 is carried from, or this 12 is carried from this 2. Yeah, and then you add it to the element. So basically C means carry and E means element. And there is no compulsion that you have to use those names. You can use any name you want. You can say IJ, you can say AB, but C and E is commonly used. Now with those two values, what you want to do? I want to add them. I don't want to multiply or any other things. I just want to add them. And you can perform any operation you want. I'm just saying C plus E. Cool, everyone? Yeah, I know where you're stuck. You're stuck here. Why there's a 0 in the beginning, right? Okay, let's go back to the drawing. See, we are thinking about these two values, right? So what I will do is, I will just write this once again.
Sorry, there is nothing to read.
I'm not talking to you, Siri. Okay, so let's say 2, 4, 6, 8. Tell me in this, which one is C, which one is E to start with? Yeah, so logically it should be C should be 2 and E should be 4. But that's not how it starts. The first element, it is always E. That's an element, right? E, that's an element, first element. Then what about the C? What is the value of C initially? And that C, and that's something you assign here. This 0 means the first value of C. If you set it to 10, it will start with 10. 10 plus 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8. Let me show you. Am I printing the output for result? Yes, I'm printing it here. Okay, but there's an error. I have already used S3, so I can't do that. And run. So you can see we got 60. So it is taking that 10 additionally. Making sense, everyone? Can this be done with map? No, map in what map we do is we take a value and we perform the operation on it. We don't reduce the value because map returns the stream itself. So this can be done only with the reduce. Right? Now, instead of writing this in 4 lines, I can write in 1 line like this. Because see, this stream returns the stream object. Then this filter returns the stream object. This map returns the stream object. Only the reduce returns the result. So if you write nums.stream, it returns a stream. On that stream, we are performing a filter. On that stream which returned by the filter, we are applying map. On that stream returned by the map, we are applying a reduce. So this 1 line replaces these 4 lines here. Making sense? No, we can perform stream not, so the question is from Vishnu, can we perform stream and on array objects? No, it can be only done with the collection. Is there any other terminal function which we use? Yes. So if you say S3, there are multiple terminal functions, like count is one of the terminal function. We got find first is a terminal function. Find any is a terminal function. Something which I use. And you can see anything which is not returning a stream is basically a terminal function. Okay, now let me show you one interesting thing. Instead of this filter here, or instead of this lambda expression here, let me use the normal thing which we were doing. So I'll say new predicate, and here the logic was n mod 2 equal to 0. The same thing which we have done before, nothing fancy. Just replace the lambda with the actual anonymous inner class. Okay, now tell me one thing. How many times this test method will be executed? Okay, let's see. I will say executed just to see how many times it prints. Run, and yeah, so almost 9 times, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9 times. Cool, everyone? Because if we have to check each value, okay. Let me comment this. So we are applying a stream, then we are applying a filter, then we are applying a map. Okay, now tell me how many times this test will be executed. Have I changed anything? 9 times, right? You should be executing 9 times. Let's try. Have you seen the output? It is not even executing even once. I mean, that's weird, right? We are calling the filter function, it should execute, right? Now that's where one of the important concept of streams comes into picture. Now streams are by default lazy. Okay, so it says that if you're not using a terminal function, you can see I have commented this line here. So if you're not using a terminal function, why you are making me work if you're not going to use it? So it says, if you're not going to use it, I will not execute the method. It is lazy. Only when it sees that there is a terminal function, it will execute all the streams. Making sense? So yeah, with stream you can do a lot of stuff, but it will become very complex if I talk about everything. But this is basically how you use stream. So you can use this syntax, you can use this syntax, something like this. And the better way of writing this is in this format. Looks good. So that's about stream. Oh. So let's complete our 2 days of Java with this. Yeah, it was a fast track course. It takes around 2-3 months to talk about Java, or at least 1 month of, or at least 8-9 days of things. Annotations, we don't have enough time. You can just check out, there's one of the live session which we did before. You can check out that video. Okay, just to reiterate, next week we are starting with the Spring Batch next Saturday, but that's a paid course. Check out the courses.telesco.com for more information. And check out the description. There's a link for Java Fast Track, which is a free course, and you have to enroll there for the notes and for the codes, which we have done in 2 days. So everything will be available in next few hours. Okay. Yeah, it will be added in next few hours, notes. So I hope you enjoyed the next 2 days. Your Spring Boot will not be on YouTube, it will be on the platform. Check out the platform courses. So thank you so much everyone for joining. Check out the description, make sure you subscribe the channel, and yeah, keep waiting for the next video.